All right, here's my audience for my informative speech. Did you know that in 2007 and 2008, the global economy faced its worst economic crisis since the Great Depression? The financial crisis not only crippled the financial aspect of the United States, but the entire global economy as a whole. The way I know a good amount about this topic is because I'm a finance major, and this is what I study. I also have accepted a job in banking, so it's one thing that I'll continue to probably do for the rest of my life. So I'm pretty well informed on this issue, and it's intriguing to me. The main points that I will preview is how it all started, who was one of the big problems behind it, and the government buyout toward the end. So it all started with banks and mortgage companies. The crisis originated from banks because they were offering something that is called a subprime mortgage. A subprime mortgage are mortgages that start off with low interest rates, but after years of holding that mortgage, the interest rates usually blow up and turn into double-digit interest rates. Usually, these were issued to people by banks, but these people would end up not being able to pay these mortgages because they would start off with these really low rates, and then the rates would increase so high that their income levels weren't able to like substantially pay the mortgages. Another problem was that the banks wouldn't actually hold these loans. The banks would sell these loans to big mortgage companies like Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, and then the mortgage companies would then sell them to investment companies on Wall Street to make a profit off of them. When the investment banks would sell them, they would sell them as mortgage-backed securities, which are basically securities that consist of thousands of mortgages like connected together and would be sold on Wall Street based off how the mortgage lenders were going to pay them back. And since they didn't pay them back, it turned out pretty bad. The way the insurance industry ties into this is someone who had one of the key roles in ruining the economy, is they actually were issuing something called a credit default swap. And basically a credit default swap is when the insurance company insure these mortgages so that saying that if people don't pay them, they're going to have to eventually pay the insurance companies back. This is bad because insurance companies were issuing securities that they actually didn't own. So realistically, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac owned these mortgages, but the insurance companies were selling them as if they were backed by them. One of the most influential investors in the history of the world is Warren Buffett, and he called these securities financial weapons of mass destruction, basically saying that they could ruin the economy. By 2008, there were $62 trillion issued of these securities in which the lenders could not pay them back, and essentially it ruined the economy. By the end of all this madness, it came to an end when the investment bank Bear Stearns and the mortgage company Citywide Financial Group, they went bankrupt. They're officially bailed out by the United States government, which was nearly over $50 billion. In result, several people in the United States economy lost their jobs, and the unemployment rate soared. People lost their homes, and they lost their retirement funds. The economy since has recovered, but there are still people that, unfortunately, have not gotten all their money back. So what comes from this, in conclusion, is that now there are many regulations in place so banks cannot do this to people. Also, American consumers need to realize what they can take on and what they can't. And another thing is that banks and insurance companies need to not screw over the American public and do the right thing. And here's my audience.